They shall not make or enforce any law which abridges the privileges or immunities of the citizens of the United States. Is giving someone else your tax money not an abridgment of your privileges? No. Yeah, sorry I don't make videos that often, but I'm not really a performer, I'm more of a construction worker. And it's kind of awkward being on camera, but I do it for you, the people. 34 subs. See, I don't even like being on camera. And I don't like having notes either, because whenever I have notes, I feel like I'm very stilted and weird sounding, and it's like, you know, I wear the glasses. I like the glasses. You wear the glasses so that way, you know, you can read notes and nobody knows you're reading them, but I mean, I don't know. It doesn't come out, it doesn't feel right. So, fuck it! I just want to talk a little bit about the, Democrats. I was watching the Democratic debate, like, last week. I have a couple clips of that. Are these people a bunch of traitors? I'm pretty sure that the Democratic candidates are all traitors. Because I was thinking about the health care for illegal immigrants thing. And, you know, at first it was like, wait a minute, they're not citizens. Why would they get money from taxpayers who are citizens? So to say that is to say that you should be giving them money. People who don't live here. And it was strange to me. I wondered, I was like, is that actually, like, illegal? For a representative to allocate money from taxpayers to non-citizens? And I looked it up, and I don't think that it is. Let's take a look. Well, first let's look up the definition of a traitor. A traitor is one who betrays another's trust or is false to an obligation or duty. And that last part is important. Is false to an obligation or duty. Meaning you have an obligation or duty to do, and you just don't do it. Another one. Here's the legal U.S. code for treason. U.S. code 2381. 18 U.S. code 2381. Treason. Whoever, owing allegiance to the United States, levies war against them or adheres to their enemies, giving them aid and comfort within the United States or elsewhere, is guilty of treason and shall suffer whatever. Some shit. But think about that. Levies war against them or adheres to their enemies, giving them aid and comfort within the United States or elsewhere. Is a person who's coming into the country to receive welfare and free government benefits without paying into taxes because they're an illegal immigrant, are they an economic enemy? Because sort of. I do construction, and people I've worked for have lost jobs because of another crew would come in, and they somehow can bid a few $1,000s less. But when they show up, there's a few more guys than in the crew that I'm working with. So think to yourself, how is that possible? How is it possible that there could be 7 guys on that crew and 3 on this one? And yet they can charge less, even though shingles cost the same for everybody. You know why? It's not from ripping the customer off. It's because those guys are being paid $5 or $6 an hour. Is that fair? To have someone come here and do construction work for $5 or $6 an hour just because they're so desperate that they'll take it? I don't think that's fair at all, and I think that that's abuse. And it's fucked up because it actually takes money out of my wallet, takes money out of a lot of people's wallets, and it's abusive to the people who come here. So that's the definition of a traitor and treason. A traitor is somebody who's false to an obligation or duty, and treason is when you help an enemy of the United States in any way, basically. Now let's look at the oath of office of these people, because they took this oath, so they basically swore to this, and it does say swear in it. I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I will take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will faithfully... That's just the end saying I'm not lying. The end says I'm not lying. The beginning says that you will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. So if you're going to be a representative of people, because they're not the president, they're not some arbiter of morality for the United States or anything. They're a representative of a certain district. They're elected as a senator or congressman of a certain place for certain people to represent them. Oh, boy. I shouldn't smoke so much. So it's not exactly these people's right to take money from taxpayers and claim to want to allocate it to people who don't come from this country or even their district or this country. What are you doing? What are they talking about? These people are insane. What they're talking about is actually like, it's sort of seditious at a point. I hate to say that because it's like, you don't want to be calling people out, but I mean, come on. I don't get free healthcare. I don't even have healthcare. I know people who don't even have it. And they work 40, 50, 60 hours a week and they don't have it. And yet still, you want it for illegal immigrants? You sacks of shit. How dare you act like you're a representative of an American district or state or something? Like, how are you not run out? This is ridiculous. These people are traitors. Oh, and people are going to say, it says to defend the Constitution. Because like, constitutional scholars might see this and say, oh, well, you don't understand the Constitution, bro. And they're going to say, oh, well, it's over right here. They're going to say, in the Constitution, it says persons, which means all peoples. And I know what part you're talking about. And let's read it. In the 14th Amendment, no state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. Now that's in the Constitution, so all these people who were voted in, that they're supposed to abide by that. They swore to abide by that. And yet, let's read it backwards. Nor deny any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. Well, if you're an illegal immigrant, it doesn't matter who you are. If you wander into the country and they find you, you get all the equal protections of the laws that everyone else gets. You get the same I get. And I'm a citizen. I was born here. And yet if I was wandering around with no ID on me, and I did, somebody picked me up and they'd be like, oh, who are you? And I'm just like, K? Well, they're going to bring me to a police station. But you're going to get that same treatment. So you get the same treatment a citizen gets because you're just like everyone else. And that's exactly what happens. Nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. Well, that also happens. If the same thing, if I was carrying a backpack and I get caught up and they don't know who I am, they're going to give it back to me once they find out who I am. You're not going to lose your backpack. I mean, if you do, then you should complain. I don't think that that's a problem. Everyone gets the same treatment under the law no matter where you come from, and that is what happens. Now, here's where it gets in their face. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States. Nor shall they deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny anyone equal protections. Yeah, they don't deny anyone equal protections or due process, or deprive them of their property or life or freedom. But the citizens, they shall not make or enforce any law which abridges the privileges or immunities of the citizens of the United States. Is giving someone else your tax money not an abridgment of your privileges? Doesn't that tax money go to you? Isn't that tax money supposed to go to the roads that don't get fixed? Isn't that tax money supposed to go to all the different programs that they talk about? And yet they want to give it to people who don't even live here, who are not citizens? It says right there, no state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States. They said citizens, and then they said persons twice. Because, yeah, you're not mean to people from outside the country. Of course you don't abuse people. Jesus Christ. Nobody thinks that. Nobody thinks that you should abuse immigrants. That's insane. That's some bullshit leftist thing that they're just making up because they want to make it seem so mean and not open borders because the left wants voters and the right wants slaves. But it says very specifically, no state shall make or enforce any law which abridges the privileges of or immunities of citizens against persons, because persons are mentioned differently. So citizens, you can't fuck with them. You're not supposed to fuck with people. That should even apply to income tax. Income tax should be, I don't know if income tax was after this, but if income tax is after this, well then that shouldn't even been legal. Because that abridges my privileges. If I make money owning a business, good for me. I don't like the idea of begrudging people who are successful and rich for having money. Like, good for them, Why are you so jealous? Just, be happy for somebody else. Imagine the analogy, if you saw somebody who was destitute, Wouldn't you feel bad for them? You know, you feel bad for somebody who has nothing. But imagine the opposite of that. Imagine seeing someone who has everything, and instead of feeling bad for them, you go, oh, nice, man. Cool, good for you. Maybe one day for me. Maybe in another reality for me. You don't have to be mad about it. Jeff Bezos, give me $10 million, dude. Bong, $10 million, Bong. Come on, Bong. Dude, Bong, I'll eat your wife's ass out right now for $10 million, Bong. No, but anyway, when you think about it, for these people who were supposed to represent you, because I don't know, you know, which particular districts they inhabit, you know, like viruses. But if you live there, they're advocating taking your money and giving it to somebody else. And that seems like they're abridging your privileges as a citizen. Persons all get fair treatment, but citizens are not supposed to have their privileges... jump cuts. This is why I use jump cuts, Razor Fist. Like I said, I'm not a performer. I'm a construction worker. I just make these videos for fun. I just want you all to watch the form of all reality and its relationship with time. It's my first video. All of this is spice. Every video I make is spice. I just want you to watch my first video. The form of all reality and its relationship with time. Just watch that. All the rest of this is for fun. Alright, but back to the traitors. Yeah, they're a bunch of traitors. You know? That's just like my opinion, man. No, but they are traitors. Because they're supposed to represent you, and yet they want to take your money and give it to somebody as a virtue signal. Look how nice I am. I gave to the immigrants. Why don't you reform legal immigration? Nobody ever fucking talks about that. You know? There's always all this talk about illegal immigration and how that's okay. Why don't you just make it easier to legally immigrate? I have no problem with immigrants whatsoever. I'll tell you a little story right now that immigrants are great. Good immigrants who assimilate to American values. There was a beer store. Let's say there was a beer store. There was a beer store. It was down the road, and it was called a guy's name. I don't want to give it away, but it was the guy's name, and he was a piece of shit, and he charged $6, $7, $8 more than the distributors would charge for any case or anything. You know, it was always a few dollars more, and he was a real douchebag. Nobody liked him, and everyone stopped going there. Nobody went there anymore because you could drive 10 miles down that way and go to a beer distributor, which would have $6 or $7 less, or 10 miles that way and get a beer distributor, would be $6 or $7 less. That guy went out of business. Guess who moved in? A bunch of immigrants. And guess what? The first thing they did was put a little American flag outside right in front of the entrance. And those guys are the best people ever. They're friendly. They call you by name. They learn your name. They're nice. They sell everything at the dirt cheap prices. And everyone loves them. So who doesn't like immigrants? When immigrants are awesome. If they're not awesome, then, you know, don't come here. We want awesome people. I don't care what color you are, religion you are, you know, whatever, you know, anything. Just be great. If you come here and you're great, everyone loves you. And you have to love America too. Love America and be great and welcome. That's it. Instead, people come here and they want to do whatever they want. Oh, we're going to come here and we're going to change the laws. Ilhan Omar. You need to have more Muslim rights. Bitch, you've been living here since I was 4 years old and you can't learn how to speak. Like, get the fuck out of here. I hate that shit with that bitch. And the hijab. We don't have hijabs here. If I want to go to an Arabian country and see the Arabian lifestyle, I'll go to Saudi Arabia or something as a vacation. And I'll visit and go, oh, that's cool. And then come back here to America where things are this way. We're not America's we're not the world's concierge desk. We don't have to, you know, bend over to every single person who comes here just because we have the nicest shit. We have a culture too. And I'm really sick and tired of hearing of people who come here acting like they're going to set the rules. You don't like it, you can fucking leave. And these people promoting it are a bunch of traitors. No problem with Spanish immigrants. Come on up. But when you come on up, you put an American flag outside. And you say, hey, how you doing, buddy? And you fucking celebrate 4th of July and all that type of shit. And then nobody's going to give a shit. Because we don't care where you come from. We care that you're American. American is something you can become. So do. Fuck these traitors. I cannot wait for Trump 2020. Because it's going to be... I'm taking bets. I'll take bets on the spread. Because it's a win, but what's the spread going to be is the real question. I'll take bets on that. I'm going to take this beard and I'm going to make it into a mask. And I'm also going to take my hair and I'm going to make my hair into a mask also. You know, I figure I might as well do 2 at a time if I'm going to make a mask out of a beard mask. So I'll do my hair too because I really liked it in the sun. It looks pretty cool. But I'll take bets and I don't know. Some sort of giveaway. I'll make another beard mask and hair mask and then I'll give it to somebody. Alright, but that's it. These people are traitors. I might make another video tomorrow. I'm gonna try to get better at it, but I really don't have the schedule for this because I have to work fucking almost 10 hours a day, 5 days a week, and I get so tired, covered in fucking wood, and fucking sawdust and shit, and I get chemicals in my eyes and in my hands, and you get home, you just want to go to sleep, you know. It took fucking an hour just to clean this desk enough just to make this video. When I get to World War 3, remember I told you the last one. Last one I said, spoiler alert. Spasms! But you already knew that. But I'll explain why, but it's pretty obvious. Illinois sets a great example for why. I don't know, peace out, bye!